I'd like to introduce you all to this very, very prominent Asian Australian, in my opinion. He's pretty cool. He has worked with the biggest global brands, from Zoom to Facebook to Microsoft to Siemens. He's done lots of stuff for them, right? And to add to that, he is an international keynote speaker. He is a communications coach, and he's a creator of an online course called This Stage Academy. He's also a YouTuber. Look it up. It's Ask Vinh. And he's also, this is how I found him, on TikTok and Instagram, so you'll see his tips all the time. And then, of course, to add on top of that, he's a magician, a husband, and a proud father of one. And let me tell you, he told me a little bit of a story. You see, I love the Carter. I love a little bit of music, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of drinking. And this is a type of place where our special guest actually met his missus as well. And in case you didn't know, he also happens to be a magician. So, as any young magician would, you go into a nightclub, you're on there to impress this very, very special, beautiful-looking woman that you see from across the room. He went up to her and he said to her, he showed her a deck of cards and he goes, "Would you be really impressed if I transform this King of Hearts into a Queen of Hearts because you've got my heart?" Oh, so smooth, right? So smooth. And as any young woman at a nightclub would quickly retort, she quickly said, "I'd be more impressed if you transformed yourself into a real man to have a real conversation." So, but it all worked out in the end. Magic happens in nightclubs. And without further ado, please make welcome Vinh Giang.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Sounds my wife never makes. So thank you for that. Thank you for the wonderful applause. Just to give your context as well, growing up, I've barely ever been to a nightclub. This is the third time I've been to a nightclub. So I'm so out of my comfort zone. So thank you all for being here. I wanted to start with something, because you are all most likely here because you know me as someone who teaches communication skills, right? So we're going to try something. We're going to try a game called High-Low Buffalo. And the way High-Low Buffalo works is you're going to turn to a group of maybe 3 or 4 people. You're going to share something high, something good going on in your life. Then you'll share a low, maybe something you're a little bit bummed out about. And then you'll share buffalo, which is something interesting about you. And there's a really important reason why we're playing this game. So as we begin, I'll time you. You have 3 minutes. Each person has a minute. So go in groups of 3s. High, low, buffalo, go. Oh my God, hello. Oh my God, hello. One more minute. One more minute. One more minute. 30 seconds, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. It's time. And time. And time. And it's time. It's time. And time. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the end. That's the end of high-low, and it's Buffalo. Now here's the thing. To the people in the back, that's it. That's it. Now here's the reason. There's a reason behind this. And I really want everybody in the room to grasp the reason as to why we did this. What we have just done is what they call... Thank you, that's a clever strategy. You see, what we have just done... What we have just done in the world of communication is what they call conversational threading. And conversational threading is when you speak to someone, you create 3 threads so that later this evening you have so much to talk about. You have 3 different options to talk to other people on. Whereas often when people meet each other, all they say is, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Adelaide. 1 thread. Conversation does not continue. You've just learned a simple conversational threading technique. It's one of the most powerful techniques to learn when you go networking and you're at an event like this. So if any of you are here by yourself this evening, you meet people for the first time, use conversational threading. So I'll do it too. So hi, 3rd time in a nightclub, yay. Low, my wife and I, we're currently going through IVF. It's the 5th year. Kind of sucks. It's okay, we're staying positive. And Buffalo, Vinh Giang, my nickname when I was in high school was Vingina. Yes, so that's great, so that's me. Now, please don't call me this, it'll give me PTSD. So as we're beginning this evening, I'm part magician, so I need 5 people who don't know me this evening. So if you don't know who I am, please raise your hands, please, so I know. Okay, number 1, if you could join me, please make your way up top if you can. Number 2, could you come join me, thank you. Number 3, number 4, and number 5. Come on, Sage, come on, Sage, come on, Sage. Okay, good. And once we have it, please, where's our next person? Lovely. So once we have this, could I just get a girl, boy, girl, so it doesn't freak me out? Thank you. Good, thank you. That's good, I can relax. So here's how this game works. This is how magicians would begin their shows in the early 1900s. I love the vaudeville era of magic. It's a very simple game we're going to play. First of all the cards are different, obviously. I'm going to wrap the cards up so you can't see them all, okay? And so that you don't, because you're nervous, you drop the cards. So the 5 of you have a very important task. Hold the cards very close to your chest. Lift the cards up. Look at one card and one card only. Don't take it out. You have to remember it. It's a memory game. Does that make sense? Good. So if you could take this for me, please. And please don't look at her card when she's looking. So look at one card. Look at one. Lock it in your head. Pass it to the next person, please, once you're done. And then as quickly as you can, as you have it, say it to yourself over and over and over again. Don't forget this card. Please make sure you know the suit, hearts if it's a picture, make sure you know which picture it is. Don't forget this card, because if you did, the trick would be shit. So please don't forget this card, it's super important. And then once you've got it, place it back in my hands once the last person's seen it. Good. Did any of you think of the bottom card, which is the 10 of spades? Anyone think of this? You did. Please pick a different one. That's too easy. That's easy.
No, I didn't think
Oh, you didn't? Okay, that's good.
My bad.
The game is called Truth or Lie. So right now, 5 people are thinking of 5 different cards. No one in this room knows what they are, including me. So we're going to play a game called Truth or Lie. I'm going to ask you questions about your card. You can choose to tell a truth or a lie. Sometimes lie, make it more fun. But if you lie, you'll do something to give it away. Okay? So my job is to try to catch you out. First one, was your card red or black?
Black.
Good, of course it was. Was yours red or black?
Red.
Sorry?
Red.
Good, thank you. Was yours red or black?
Red.
Good, was yours... What colour was it again?
Red.
Good, sometimes hard to remember lies. Yeah, oh, you're going to remember. What colour was yours?
Black.
Yeah, was yours red?
Yes.
Thank you. You can tell when she answers so quickly, it means it's the truth. There's no lie there. Instinctive, so thank you for telling the truth. Was yours odd or even? Oh, sorry, okay, what? Okay, listen. What this tells me is she's thinking, shit, it's a picture card. So, yes, that means I'm right. So she's thinking, it's a picture card. How do I know if it's odd or even? So thank you. So I know yours is a picture card, so thank you. Actually, I'll ask you first. Is yours a 5?
No.
Truth, again, very quick to respond. No change in body language, no raising of the shoulders, you can tell. Was yours a 6?
No.
You can tell again, same posture, nothing changes. Very easy for me, this is very easy. Was it a 4?
No.
Truth again, because the more I do this, the more scared she gets to lie, right? Was it a 3?
No.
Truth again, so I think I know what yours is, that's fine, thank you. Sometimes lie, make it fun. Was yours an 8?
No.
Truth, was yours a 5?
No.
Truth, was yours a 6?
No.
Truth, was yours a 10?
No.
I think I know what yours is too. Actually, I think I know what yours is already. That's fine, don't worry about it. I think I know yours already. And was yours, obviously a red card, was it high or low?
High.
Truth, okay. Was it odd or even?
Odd.
Oh, that's interesting. You're a good liar. That's good. It'd be scary to be married to you. No, very strong lady. What do you mean? It's strong, like my wife, who still doesn't like my magic. That's fine. Last question for you, though. Just name a suit, hearts or diamonds.
Hearts.
Oh, that's so weird. I think these should, listen carefully, this should be the 5. 2 of hearts, 7 of clubs, jack of clubs, queen of diamonds, and ace of spades. If I named your cards, please walk back to your seats, no lying. Please walk back, thank you. Thank you, give a big round of applause, thank you. Thank you very much indeed, thank you. Good, thank you. Oh, thank you very much, thank you for clapping, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for still clapping, that's very kind. That's the magician part of me, and could I just get a little bit of context? How many of you know me like 100%? Raise your hands. Like you just know who I am, what I do. That's quite offensive, really. That's fine. So let me give you all a sense. So I'll make sure we're all on the same page because this is an origin story of mine. I'd love to share it with you. About 15 years ago, I was in university in Adelaide, where I'm from. I know we have teeth. And I was in Adelaide studying commerce and law. And I had 6 months to go in my degree. And I remember coming home, talking to my parents, and I said, Mum, Dad, I love you. It's taken me all my life to build the confidence to tell you this. I'd like to quit university. So my mum immediately starts crying. It is impossible to cry that fast. But she knew that if she cries, my dad gets pissed off. So then my dad sees her cry, rolls up his sleeves. My dad walks up to me, and you know what my dad does? He does this, he goes, so you can see in the back. That's what Bruce Lee does before he kicks your ass. So I recognize the signs of danger, and I say to my dad, I go, Dad, no, wait. There's just one more thing. I'm quitting commerce and law because I'd like you to also give me $100,000 on top of that so I can build a business on the internet just to teach magic tricks. My dad, what the hell you want to be to Harry Potter? So my dad was furious at this point. Dad's super pissed at this point. He looks to my mum, who's now crying for real. He leaves me in the lounge room, and I'll never forget this. He just walks away, grabs my mum by the arm, and they walk into the kitchen. At this point, I'm thinking, why would you go to the kitchen? Knives are in the kitchen. So I start to panic, and my imagination goes wild. And this is what I'm thinking my dad's saying. I'm thinking my dad's saying something like this. My dad's saying something like this to my mum. He says, don't worry, baby. Okay, baby, don't worry, okay? We kill this boy tonight. Okay, honey, don't worry tonight, baby. Don't cry. Me and you, we make another boy. Okay? No, it's fine. Thank you for laughing. Not even a joke. My brother was born as a result. My brother and I are 12 years apart. And just so you know, my brother's in the health field now, so they got one son who's in the health field. But you see, my parents were, true story, have a brother who's got a degree. But then the thing is, my parents come out of the kitchen about 15 minutes later, and they say something I completely don't expect. And no matter where I go in the world, I share this story. My dad is the eldest of 7 brothers. He was the one that made the decision to flee Vietnam during the war, to leave everything behind. And he comes out and he says, he goes, boy, I didn't risk my life. I didn't risk the lives of all your uncles, all your aunties, especially your mum and your grandparents. I didn't risk everybody's life in the Giang family to try to find freedom, to then force you to do something you didn't want to do. If it's magic, it's okay. And the most beautiful words he said then followed. He said, son, in this life, you owe me one thing though, still. The one thing you owe me is you have to jump as high as you can in this life. And as long as I'm alive, I'll forever be your net. So I tested the theory. like we all should. How strong is this net? How many times can I fall on this net? What does it feel like? I failed more times than you can imagine. My dad, I remember when I was 19, gave me 50 grand to go to Guangzhou, to go to the Canton Fair, to buy a container of electronics, back to South Australia to sell things. And then it got shut down because it wasn't CE approved, and I almost went to jail. Super fun times. But I share this with you simply because I wouldn't be here talking to you all this evening if it wasn't for the sacrifices my mum and dad have made and those before them. And I believe the same to be true for every single one of us in this room now. You would not be who you are, you would not be where you are, if it wasn't for the sacrifices your families have made, the families you choose, or the families you're born into. So before we begin, can we clap it up for our families? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. This evening, 3 things will happen. I'll share with you, at the beginning, a lesson that has completely transformed my life, followed by some Q&A with you all, and we'll do as much of that as you want and you can endure. And then we'll end, at the end, with another lesson that has truly transformed me in the last 24 months. With the first one. The first one I'd love to share with you this evening. I need another person who doesn't know me, in case you've seen this and you can outplay me. And I don't want to lose. So for another person who doesn't know me, if that's okay, don't know me, and if you don't know me and you're a lady, and you know that, that's fine, that's great. Could a lady over there, could you join me, please? Just because I want everyone to feel some love. So can we give her a big round of applause as she joins me? Good. Lovely, thank you for volunteering. I'll give you a hand. Yeah, no dramas. Good stuff. And what is your name?
Crystal.
Crystal, lovely to meet you. If you could stand there, Crystal. Very simple game we're going to play. So this is Crystal, and Crystal, I'm going to give you the opportunity to win 50 cents. It's obviously against our culture to give away money. So Crystal, behind your back, could you hold a coin like this between your fingertips? And could you face me? It's my favorite game. I use magic as my metaphor. So face me, please, thank you. So Crystal, here's the thing. We're going to play which hand is the coin in. Okay, so we get to play this 4 times. Don't let me influence you. So don't let me influence you. Which hand you put the coin in, okay? So Crystal, the game is simple. You can put the coin in the hand that feels right for you, okay? And the hand you have empty, you can leave left. So whatever that means, Crystal, make your own decision. Bring your hands forward like this and say yes once you've done it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do you feel that was a free choice?
Yeah.
No. Did you hear what I said? I said, put the coin in the hand that feels right and leave the hand that's left empty. But before this, I told her, don't let me influence you. So when she hears this, she goes, I'm not going to put it in the right hand. I'm going to put it in the left hand. So could you open your left? Open it. Yes, good. That's 1. That's 1 out of 4. Behind your back, behind your back, behind your back. You're perfect for this. Absolutely perfect for this. Okay. Crystal, very good, very good. Now think about this.
Yeah.
You just put it in the left.
Yeah.
What do you think most people do now, out loud?
Put it in the right.
She thinks they put it in the right. No, they keep it in the left, but you just told me what you're going to do.
Oh.
So you can do what you're going to do, or just do what feels right. Whatever that means, make your decision. Bring your hands forward, please. Quickly as you can, say yes once you've done it.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, do you feel that was a free choice?
No.
Yeah. Correct. It wasn't a free choice. Because she doubts her own decision now. She goes, oh, I shouldn't put it in the right then. So I'm going to keep it in the left because everybody else does that. Surely everybody's smarter. So that's what she does. Could you open your left again? Oh, yes, that's good. There's 2 and 4. Behind your back, please. You're very good at this game. So here's the thing. For those of you who are mathematically inclined, as we all are, it's a genetic advantage. It's what it is. So here's the thing. The most improbable thing to do in this game is to keep it in the left hand 4 times in a row. Because it's the most statistically improbable thing. So that's what most people do. So don't do that. Because, I mean, look, genuinely, if she does that this evening, everyone's going to go, you should have changed it and tried the right. Curiosity kills the cat. Does it make you make the wrong decision?
You're confusing me.
That's good, okay. You can't get this wrong. You can only get this left. So make your own decision, please, Crystal, and say, bring your hands forward and say yes once you're done.
Yes.
Okay, face the audience. I want them to see what I see. So, Crystal, you've got a choice. You could cross your right hand over the left or your left over the right. Make a decision now. Interesting. All the way, please, all the way. It's interesting because this is the time everybody cracks. This time it's in the right. Could you open your top hand, which is it? Yes, it was! I'm so sorry. Okay, do you know what she's thinking at this point? She was thinking, I hate this guy. Why did my friend bring me here? Okay, last one.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you now, very simply, I know you're going to switch it back to the left. Okay? You can tell by the reaction she was doing this. So don't. Free choice. Complete. I don't want to influence it at all. So, like, again, I know you're going to change it to the right, but don't. Free choice. Do whatever you want with that. Go for it. Don't look at them. Look, just decide yourself. Make it this. Okay, and then say yes when you've got your hands forward.
Yes.
Okay. Last chance to change your mind. Change or stick.
I don't know.
It's inevitable. The way this game works, she will hate this. The last one is always the left. Could you open the left? Open it. Was it the left? Yes, it was. Give her a big round of applause. I'm so sorry. No 50 cents for you. Please, could someone help her down, please, so she doesn't fall? Love this game. This game highlights a very important point in the world of magic. As magicians, the first thing we learn in magic school is that we have to learn linguistic influence, how to linguistically influence people to make decisions, because as a magician, we have to be able to control the attention of the volunteer. So again, what you saw here is a game, it's kind of linguistic karate, is what you saw. But there was another form of influence that was happening. Not just linguistic influence, but another form. And I'd like you all to try this, but please don't hurt the person next to you. Please, if you can, hold out your right hands like this. Give it a try. No, genuinely do it. Right hands like this, thank you. Yes, thank you. Please, everyone do it. Yes, thank you. Even in the back, do it. Turn your right hands upside down, like this. Point all your fingers together. Bend your arm 90 degrees. No, genuinely do this. And then as quickly as you can, as you look at me, as quickly as you can, everyone go to your cheek. And turn to the person next to you, say that's your chin, not your cheek. Okay, hold on. I saw some of you. Some of you went, wait, what the hell? Doesn't count, means you still fell for it. And just in case you're wondering, Crystal also fell for that one too. I do all of this to highlight one thing. Influence is one of the most powerful forces in this life. You ought to use it to your advantage. And one of the most transformational lessons I learned before I went to the US, this made my career in the US. And the lesson was simple. If influence is this real, then this next statement must be true. You are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. That's who you are. I've used this one lesson applied time and time again in my career. When I change the goal of what I want to achieve, I change my top 5. I change my top 5 to align it with the place that I want to go. And some of you, I know you've got awkward faces, I can see your faces. You're thinking, I'm going to have to let Stephen go. Yeah, my boyfriend go, right? No, please. Please keep your boyfriends, keep your husbands. Most importantly, keep your children. So she shows you, no, the youngest one, gotta go. I'm talking about your professional 5s. Where do you want to go professionally in your career? Model the people who are close to you. The most important lesson I've learned is that I used to model, when people ask me, Vin, who inspires you? I said, Elon Musk. Right, and who else inspires you? And I'll say whoever, right? I'll say another person, and then I model them. And then I can't buy Twitter. I just can't. So instead, I found a very powerful lesson within this, that I find pragmatic mentors. So when I want to build my social media following, I look for people who have around the same social media following I have, and I learn from them. They become my pragmatic mentors. I bring them into my top 5. And in America, people collaborate like crazy. People of the same caliber collaborate like crazy. This is why we all watch American movies, because all the actors come together in Hollywood, create movies. I did this with Can this evening and the Level Asian boys and girls, because we want to create a more collaborative community here in Australia. So if I'm close to you and I can help you grow, reach out. Let's amplify each other. But more than anything, when you know where you want to go, find the right people to bring into your top 5. Because who you spend time with today will determine who you become in the future. Thank you. That's point number 1. Oh, thank you very much, thank you. So we'll do a bit of Q&A. Then I've got a final point that's frightening. Then we'll get to that. So here we go. Give it up for Can. Yeah. That was a slightly bigger scream than mine. I don't know how I feel.
No, if everyone can give Vin a round of applause for what he's done so far.
Thank you.
And before I start with these questions, guys, firstly, a couple of things. If you want to ask a question, we've got an extra mic here. I think, Jess, maybe I'll get you to help out. Just come and find Jess here if you want to ask a question. I know it's a little bit tough for the user at the back, but if you do want to come out and ask a question, we'll see how we go, okay? Secondly, I want to thank Vin, firstly, for coming all the way out here from Adelaide. I know it's a far, far away town. But more importantly, Vin has volunteered his time here. He has sacrificed his time. He's a very busy man, so I want us everyone to put your hands together, because he has been incredibly generous with the type of person he is.
Thank you.
All right.
And just for the record, my scream was louder now. just for the record.
All right. We'll have to top each other. All right. So I'm gonna kick off with the first question, and then for those of you who want to ask questions, please make your way over to Jess over here on my right or your left. Vin, first question.
Here we go.
Very Asian question.
Okay.
Many of us feel or have pressure to meet the Asian expectation. So we're talking about corporate jobs, safety, going to university. You alluded to that with your dad.
Yeah.
Now, how do we address this without feeling like we're betraying our loved ones?
I'm just going to take a sip of water. It's a big question to start with. So how do we have this conversation without feeling like we're betraying our family?
Correct.
Communication. You know, that conversation, I kind of told that story about how I met my parents and met my parents. How I had the story of how I conversed with my parents. I shortened it to tell you in story form. That conversation happened over a period of nearly 6 years. Okay, I shortened it just for entertainment purposes, otherwise I'd be here for the next 17 hours. But then that happened over a period of nearly 6 years. And the first time I told them, they were angry, they were pissed off. I was dating a girl at the time, and her dad said, look, unless you're a partner at KPMG, you're not dating my daughter. Yeah, thanks for laughing, yay, laugh. No, it was actually a very painful moment for me, because he ended our relationship. He just completely ended it. And he berated me for a good 45 minutes non-stop for the career path that I've chosen. And I was mocked by my community. I couldn't go to temple anymore because I was ashamed. I was basically a deadbeat. And again, people would look down on my parents. So I said, you know what, Mum, why don't you guys go to temple? I'll stay home. So I genuinely, I've always felt like a massive loser in my life. And I never gave up on conversing with my parents, though, because they're the most important people to me in my life. And without them, I wouldn't be here. So I never gave up on them. I kept talking to them. And night after night, we would cry and we would cry. And what I've learned is that my mum and dad are not the same as me. As far as I'm concerned, mum and dad almost come from a different planet. My dad was running from bullets. My dad used to live in a hut. He was like a caveman. He used to look after buffalo in Vietnam. So again, I had empathy in that I knew that mum and dad, not only did they speak a different language, they come from a different world. And if I'm going to get them to understand my world, this is going to be a long, long, long conversation. And I'm willing to have it. Because the proudest thing I can share with you right now, my dad about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, just before COVID, he came up to me and he said, "Thanks for not giving up on me." Because I came so many times so close to giving up on my mum and my dad. I was so sick of it. I was so sick of the back and forth of them not getting my world, and I felt like I was speaking to a brick wall. But it worked. So I ask you to communicate with empathy, communicate with love, kindness, and compassion. These people have lived a different life. They not only speak a different language, they come from a different world. And if an alien came here, it would take us a few years for them to understand our way of life. So give your parents time, give them space, and communicate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Round of applause, guys.
And Google Translate. For those of you, genuinely, there were moments in the Vietnamese conversation I didn't know how to have. So I Google translated it, I printed it out, and these were the letters that moved my mum and dad to tears. Because I can't say some of this to you, so I'm going to type it out for you. And it was pages upon pages upon pages of this. So, yeah.
Amazing. Round of applause for Vinh for that
Yeah,
one.
Thank
no
you.
worries. No worries.
Now, Ken and Vinh, we do have a question from Vanessa. I'd like to invite Vanessa up for a little
Hello,
bit.
Vanessa.
Yes.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
My question for you is, what intrigues you so much about communication, and how do you feel like you've changed from when you started to now? Which you might get this question a lot.
No, not at all. I actually don't share this often in public. So your first part of the question was?
What intrigues you so much about communication?
Yeah. I have a son. His name is Xander. I love him very much. And my son has autism. He's on the spectrum. And I am in this role right now because when you are a teacher in a craft, you get better at it. You know this, for those of you who teach. If you want to get better at something, become a teacher in that realm. I just know that my son's greatest challenge in his life is going to be communication. So if you asked me this 6 years ago, Vinh, why do you do this? Pay is great. It's a job. But now it's changed because it's not a job. It's a calling. So it's changed completely for me, and I do it for a very different reason. So if you see me do it kind of crazily and I seem a bit like a mad scientist, it's because I'm preparing for the person who's going to need me most. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. My pleasure.
We got another one. Yep.
Can I quickly share one thing? My son's birthday's next week. And no, thank you. He's turning 6. And I remember when my wife and I were naming him, we're going to name him Axel. We thought, wow, I love Vikings. I wish I was part Viking. Oh, just the beards are incredible. So to you Asians who have beards, envy. This is 7 months. And so we had the name Axel, so we asked my father-in-law in Malaysia. So we were in Malaysia and we're like, Dad, what do you think of the name Axel? You know, he's Malaysian. She goes, okay, how do I say it? I was like, Axel. And he goes, Axhole. Yeah, so we named him Xander. Yeah, so it's Xander's birthday, not asshole. Yeah. Should have named him asshole potentially, yeah.
Well,
5-year-olds are very naughty. Yeah.
Another one?
Thank you so much, Vinh. And we have another question from Athena. Athena.
G'day, Athena, how are you?
Like the goddess.
Hello.
Careful, watch your step.
That's a beautiful name.
Thank you. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My question is, quite a few of us and quite a few people have come
in my life recently have decided to take an untraditional path in their careers, like moving away from what they typically are doing. Like if they're going to graduate from the undergraduate degree and, you know, if they're meant to be doing something, but they're trying to do something different, something that you've been doing and you've done it very, very successfully. My question is, can you give us some like 3 of your top advice in terms of like what tips you have for us and for those who want to move away from a traditional career?
Thank you for the question, first of all. And just quickly before I answer this, anything that I say from this point, these are just thoughts between friends. This is not by any means advice. I'm not an expert in this realm. I have to recognize when I'm not. I'm not. I don't have context. I don't have depth. I don't understand what you're going through, okay? So these are just thoughts between friends. Not a financial advisor, okay? So just to give clarity, okay? Because I think it's a little bit irresponsible if I gave you advice and you thought it was right. Okay, so I'd say the first thing is recognize that we live in a very different world now. So the traditional path is no longer the traditional path. The path less walked is the traditional path. It's becoming the traditional path. The number of YouTubers that I've met on my recent trip to the US was staggering. I couldn't believe how many young people were creating careers online in the creator economy. So I believe that the traditional path, first of all, is shifting and completely changing. So again, I think that's going to be the old way, and this will become the traditional path. So first, a mindset shift. I mean, with ChatGPT-4, we're all gonna die. So there's that, right? Second thing, I learned this from the gentleman who created Siri. His name's Adam Chaya. I was courting his mentorship in the US. And in America, it's amazing because you reach out to these people and you say, hey, can I sit on the train with you, talk to you while you go to work, wait for you at work all day, sit on the train with you home? Is that cool? Yeah, Vin, come in. Next Friday, good? I was like, what the frick? Yeah, let me check my diary, Adam. Yeah, works for me. He taught me this lesson. He said, life is like a book, and most people write one chapter and they reread one chapter for the rest of their lives. When the feelings and emotions come up where you feel like you need to change something, that's the indication to write a whole new chapter. And what makes a great book then? What makes a good book and a great book is a book when you turn the chapter, you didn't see that next chapter coming. So I say, as far as I'm concerned, we live once. Write as many different chapters as you can and live an exciting life, not a safe life. I'm teaching my son how to live an exciting life, not a safe life. Learn how to be strong, not how to be safe. Third, final thing I would say is mastery. I think in the world we live in today, people become average at something and expect success. I say use this as a North Star, and it's a quote from Steve Martin who says, be so good they can't ignore you. I'm from Adelaide, from the northern suburbs. Anyone know the northern suburbs? Yeah, hashtag ghetto. Woo! Yeah. We're bulletproof vests everywhere we go. So I come from there, and I use that as a North Star. I said the world will not be able to ignore me because I'll work on my craft because that's what I can control. I won't blame the world. I won't blame any of you. I won't blame the market. I'll take full ownership. So be so good they can't ignore you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, my goddess. We do have another question for you, Vin. Very interesting one from our friend Jimmy.
G'day, Jimmy. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Yeah, look at that. Those sideburns are ridiculously cool. That is wicked. How did you do that? What the frick?
Well, good Barbara goes around.
Yeah.
Two-part question.
Sure.
One, when did you dye your hair back?
When I came back from the US, my hair was blonde.
Yeah.
And my mum said, you look like a Yakuza. Can you stop? And then I think deep inside I was still seeking mum's approval.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, mum, I'll dye my hair black. So that I did it for mumsies.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Real question. You mentioned the professional 5. What if you're a leader and your professional 5 are those that just look up to you? And as you progress as a leader, you just get more and more followers, more and more staff. And you never really get that capacity to learn yourself. You get more people who look up to you. How do you alter the 5 so that you learn as much as you can give?
Tell me a little more.
A bit more?
Yeah.
I acquire businesses. That's sort of my thing. And so when you acquire a business, people look up to you and go, are we safe? Where do we go?
Okay.
So you're like the apex.
Yeah.
It's hard to, yeah.
Do you craft time for yourself?
I don't know what that means.
Do you create time throughout the week for yourself?
Hobbies.
Yeah, okay.
I'm big in the hobbies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would craft time to connect with people who you want in your top 5.
Right.
One of the most valuable things I did when I went to this last trip in the US was I was in the US. I toured for 5 weeks in March, and I went there for work, but also on purpose to meet my next top 5, where I want to go. I met with people who I really wanted to become. And I remember speaking to one of the people, I won't say who they are just to, but I met with him and he goes, Vin, how can you double your business in the next 30 seconds? I was like, Facebook ads? I don't know. And he goes, you can do a joint venture with me. I have a mailing list of 500,000 people. I'll give you a 50-50 split. And I was like, wow. Can we do it twice? That's amazing, right? But that's what these people do, right? Is that if you keep spending time with the people you're leading, then you're not remaining a leader. I think a leader has to continue to lead. And you have to create time and space to become a better leader, to continually grow as a leader. It doesn't just happen and we stay the best. We have to keep at it, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I'll give you another example. I did a Q&A night in South Australia because I went to the US to watch one of my biggest inspirations, and I'm only learning how to be courageous to say it because last time I said this, I nearly got cancelled by one of my clients. But I love Joe Rogan. I enjoy his podcast, okay? Oh, it's out there. Yeah.
Some murmurs in
No,
there.
I don't love guns. Okay, everyone's like, oh, you're a right-wing nut. But here's the thing. I went and I watched Joe Rogan on opening week of his comedy club, and I watched him do an open mic night. So I watched him do new material, and it wasn't funny. And I was mind blown that someone of this caliber is still pushing himself out of his comfort zone to grow. He's creating pain for himself because it wasn't funny. And I love him. And I was like, there was nothing. There was nothing, right? So then I immediately went, man, I'm too comfortable. I need to create room for me to grow. That's why I created the Q&A night. And for those people who came to my Q&A night all the way from Sydney and Brisbane, man, were they disappointed. Because I was doing my own open mic night. So I encourage you, the greats craft time to get uncomfortable and do things that help them grow. So create 3 to 4 hours for yourself, find the right people, connect with them.
Thanks, Vin.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you for the question. Thank you, mate.
How are we going?
Thank you so much.
How many more have we
Jimmy.
got?
We've got one from Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Okay.
Anonymous.
Hey.
Anonymous has asked, so far, what's been your greatest and proudest achievement?
My son now can hold really meaningful, simple conversations with me. Yeah. Yeah, before this year, my son wasn't able to. Whereas now we can have simple conversations back and forth. And proudest thing for me, yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
All right. Are we all good? We'll do a couple more questions. I've got a couple of questions here.
Sure,
and then
sure.
We'll move into...
Are you okay with a couple
Is everyone
more?
okay? Yeah?
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, I got one here. I hear you say this a lot, Vin. You say reality is negotiable.
Yeah.
Are you able to sort of elaborate on that a bit and explain what that's about?
I believe in life there are such thing as useful beliefs and useless beliefs. So useful beliefs and useless beliefs. And I growing up had a lot of useless beliefs. I used to believe I wasn't good enough. I used to believe that, because I'm from Adelaide, I'm never going to be able to achieve anything worthy. I had all these useless beliefs. And then I discovered this concept called a useful belief. So whether this is true or not, whether reality is actually negotiable or not, I choose to believe that reality is negotiable. And because I choose to believe that reality is negotiable, it then serves me in that my beliefs now dictate my actions in life. Think about this. If you believe something is possible, then you'll take the necessary actions to make it happen. Whereas all my useless beliefs before caused me to never try, because why try? It's not possible. Why would you even try? Why would you do it? You don't. So then I created a series of useful beliefs for myself. And one I believe is the most useful belief I have is reality is negotiable. I have the ability to create any reality I desire, as long as I get better with my technical ability. I think in life, this is how we add value to others. Get good at something technically, but then be able to communicate that value to the world. Otherwise, you're a secret agent. And unless you're a secret agent, you don't want to be invisible. So to me, it's a useful belief, right? And it has led to the most craziest things happening, right? Chris Pratt followed me 6 weeks ago, right? Yeah. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, followed me 4 weeks ago, right? Don't tell him I'm from Adelaide. I'm from Sydney as far as he's concerned. And I love clubbing. So yeah, I'm cool like that. But again, it's just, these things continually happen, and it's because I use the North Star of keep sharpening your axe. Whatever your axe is, keep sharpening it. Neglect, don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about that. Just keep sharpening your axe, keep getting better. Use that as your North Star. And reality is negotiable. Borrow that too as your useful belief if you want to.
Amazing, amazing. All right, I got a couple more, and I think we'll wrap it up.
And we got one last thing.
Yeah, and then many of us are migrants or children of migrants. So we're not necessarily born into big networks with a silver spoon, right? A lot of it is self-made. As someone who's broken through this ceiling, northern suburbs of Adelaide, right? Can you actually share a little bit or give some advice about how to help everyone here fulfill their potential, their dreams? Because many of us are the same.
I think the thing about me is I keep things super simple and I stay very focused. I think in the world we live in today, we focus on way too many things. Our minds have scattered, and I believe there's something powerful in, a person trying to catch 2 rabbits catches none. So I think the idea behind focus and again, a commitment to mastery. Like I can tell you now, when you truly master something and you continually get better at it, people can't compete with you, especially if your work feels like play to you. So I think I know not everyone's going to be able to find this, and I don't want to, anything's possible, right? Slightly, I don't want to be nauseating with it, right? But it's about understanding that if you genuinely can find work that feels like play to you, it means you're going to get so good. And anyone who's competing against you, who's working, they can't win. Now, this to me is play. This to me is play. This does not feel like work. You're not paying me, so it's not. Right? So.
All right, we'll wrap it up. See you guys later.
Yeah. That was a bit weird, wasn't it? Yeah. No, but genuinely, when you find work that feels like play, I believe that it's worth seeking for. It's worth seeking. Because when you find it, oh goodness, no one can compete. No one can compete. Yeah.
Amazing. Round of applause, guys. Yeah. All right. I think we'll leave it at that for questions.
Oh, yes. All right. Last
Vin's
thing.
got one more thing.
One more thing. Okay.
All right. I'll leave into it.
Okay. So the last thing I need, and genuinely, I want to ask for this. I want to ask who in the room genuinely feels as if fear is something that often cripples them a lot, not just in public speaking, but just genuinely in life. And I see. Oh, you okay, brother? We'll now be taking questions from the floor. I saw a hand, but I couldn't see someone. Oh, there you are. It's a lovely lady there with a beautiful bob haircut. Do you mind joining me on stage, please, if you don't mind? No, it's you. You're hiding. It's you. Yeah. Round of applause that she comes join me. Please come join me. Come join me. Good. Okay. Thank you. Hello, what's your name?
Bao.
Belle?
Bao.
Bao.
B-A-O.
Bao. Lovely to meet you, Bao. Thank you. My name's Vinh. Thank you for joining me. Oh, that's lovely. I would love to share with you something. This is a piece of magic that genuinely speaking has ruined more magician careers than any other in the world. It's genuinely one of the most dangerous pieces of magic because the degree to which this goes wrong is actually quite high. And what this trick is it's called the spike trick, and it's been performed since the late 1800s. And there are 4 bags, obviously. One of them has a spike and one of them has something like this. There's a nail in a block of wood, so could you feel that on top, Bao, and make sure it's sharp? Yeah, will that go through your palm? Yeah, just try on your palm, just so you know what it feels like. Okay, good. So, Bao, could you tell everybody what's in these bags?
A piece of wood.
Block of wood with a hole in it. That's it, there's nothing inside, there's no nail. But the reason I put a block of wood in these 3 bags is so that it weighs roughly the same, so that when she's moving them around, she doesn't know which one has the nail. So, Bao, could you look at the audience over there, please, if you don't mind? And look at the audience, please, don't look at me. Completely look at them, please, thank you. Could you look into that corner, please, if you don't mind, thank you. I don't want her to see this. I'm going to take, now my sleeves are rolled up, I'm going to leave this in this bag here. Now, the thing we're going to do is nothing comes out. I'm going to, in a moment, mix up the bags, and you all have to try to keep track of which one has the nail. Now, obviously, this is rather simple. So, Bao, you can... Actually, no, look at the wall, please. Thank you. I'm going to move them around, and you all can try to keep track. I mean, really, at this point, this is child's play, really. I mean, I still know where it is. You still know where it is. What becomes weird is when I take the bags and, I kind of turn my back a little bit, and I switch them back and forth, and now you kind of don't know which one has the nail, right? So, again, just kind of... Sorry. Bao, if you could turn around, please. So right now, yes or no, do you know where the nail is? Good, she doesn't know where it is. But I know what most of you are thinking. You're thinking, but Vinh still knows where it is. Correct. I do still know where it is. So we have to remove that layer of knowledge as well to genuinely create fear. So again, if I ask you, again, I'll give you the choice because I'm going to ask you which bag you want me to slam my hand on. And whatever you say, I'll slam it as hard as I possibly can. There's no golf clapping about this one. So please, this is bag number 1. This is bag number 2. This is bag number 3. Bag number 4. In the Chinese language, it's pronounced sei, which literally means die. Okay, so just saying, would you like 1, 2, 3, or die? Free choice.
Not die, but...
Oh, you go what? No, you can go die if you want to. Do you want to? It's a free choice. You'd like to go back number 1? Yes. You happy this is a free choice? I'll just give you the mic as well so everyone can hear your choices. They don't think I'm manipulating it. So which number would you like?
1.
Good choice. Well done. Good choice. Now there are 3. Now there are 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. The less bags there are, the more people get it wrong, okay? Because the odds are not in their favor. 1, 2, and 3. Which one would you like?
3.
Good choice. Now, this is where most people get it wrong. And it's okay, I don't blame them, it's 50-50. But at this point, I'm going to ask you, Bao, are you left-handed or right-handed?
Left-handed.
Great, we'll use your right then. Yeah. No. When it's more dangerous, I don't like to put myself in danger. Kind of makes sense, really, doesn't it? And here's the thing. This is now bag number 1, this is bag number 2. You get to decide which bag you want to do, because if she gets it wrong, it's her fault. Just how I protect myself. So bag number 1 or bag number 2, which one would you like? Have a choice. Have a think. Sorry, not laughing, it's serious. 1 or 2?
My right hand, right?
Yeah, we won't do your left because you might need it. So which one would you like?
My leg.
I don't know. Okay, cool. Okay, so your guess is as good as mine. So I'll place mine on top. So it does less damage, obviously. And just relax the palm. It does less damage that way. You have one last chance to change your mind. Would you like to change or would you like to stick?
Stick.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Give her a big round of applause, please. That was amazing. Hey, well done, Bao. Well done. Give her a big round of applause as she walks down. Now here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing. You see, for the last 4.5 minutes, you've all felt fear, anxiety. You were smiling way too much, right? For many of you, except that gentleman there, you felt fear, you felt anxiety, you felt so worried. You felt, again, the main thing being anxiety and fear for me. But what did you fear? You feared the nail in this bag. You all feared the nail in this bag. And the craziest thing about the fear you felt, it's completely unjustified. There were no nails. I'd palmed it out since the very beginning. Thank you for the one clap. But why do I do this, though? I do this because fear is the one thing that I find stops most people from living the life they want to live. Fear of a tough conversation with mum and dad. Fear for a tough conversation with your community and your friends. The fear of trying something new and getting judged from others. Fear is the one thing that stops us from doing so many things in our lives. Look, there are some situations where fear, it's valid. Don't jump off a building. That's real. I'm not advocating for that kind of, oh, anything's possible. No. But you wanting to write your story, you wanting to live a life that to many around you right now seems ridiculous, but to you is something you want to do, that fear is not real. It's unjustified. And then if you think about it, even though I stand here and tell you fear is not real, you will all feel it. You will all feel it. So the question is, how do we deal with that fear? And the way you deal with that fear is, how do you turn fear into something that is more useful, like courage? Fear requires one more ingredient before it becomes courage. Fear requires action. Courageous people do not do things in the absence of fear. Courageous people feel the fear and they do it anyway. And courage is something that has to be practiced. So my friends, don't let fear rob you of the life that you desire. Don't let fear rob you of having conversations you've been waiting to have. I'll leave you with this quote I love from Steve Jobs, and we'll end with that. Massive Apple fan, the other brand. Steve Jobs always said this, and it inspired me, another useful belief of mine. He said this, he said, those people in the world who are crazy enough to believe they can change the world, they are the people who actually do. Those of you in this room who are crazy enough to have the courage to live the life you desire, you are the ones that will write an amazing story and change the world while you're at it. Thank you. Thank you.